Electrification was the first great mission of the energy companies, a story of visionaries and innovative engineers whose pursuit of reliable power drove a revolution of industry across the globe. The first great mission has resulted in a world in which energy utilities are literally connected to millions of people. So now what?
The thing that makes it interesting is the dynamic and the change in relationships between the utility, customers, and the utility itself.
We didn't want to hear from the customers. We wanted to fly under the radar, didn't want them to call us, didn't want them to need to call us.
We look at other industries. Customer experience should be no difference when I walk into a Starbucks or I have a digital experience with Google.
The biggest thing is the cultural change. For many years, we looked at our customers and we called them ratepayers.
The utilities, they're very much compelled to become customer-centric because every customer's voice gets magnified.
It means that we really have to change our way of doing things.
The entire organisation needs to understand, that's every single person in the organisation needs to understand the importance of customer.
I don't know any other industry that customers are using less of their product and we're inciting them to do that.
If you care about customer satisfaction in a deep way, you're concerned about the drivers. The drivers are cost, reliability, and customer service. Those are the three primary drivers of customer satisfaction.
The main barrier is you have to then find a way to rewrite the value proposition and create a new business case that's going to create value.
The value of the economics for customers is something that is very elusive for CFOs.
I believe utilities are changing in terms of looking at markets that they haven't understood before. Electric vehicle markets are a great one. Traditionally, utility folks don't understand why people buy cars, and now they kind of have to.
I would say most of the folks from the top to the bottom were facing the regulator. To be customer-centric, you need to not just face the regulator and start facing the customer.
We need to find out where they are actually paying attention to, where they're getting the news, where they're getting connected to the rest of the world, and we have to be there.
Apple and Amazon and Google, which owns Nest, those companies have access to data which is useful to the customer, but also useful to the utility.
Well, I think technology is what's helping the industry evolve, and so consumers every day now have choices being positioned, delivered to them by the utility provider that they've seen in banking and insurance, in media.
The bar's been set pretty high, and it's been set by companies that really have taken a customer-first approach. And I think really over the last 5 years, you've seen this tremendous shift where utilities absolutely understand they need to put the customer first and marry the technology with what is best for the customer.
There's a lot of very exciting bells and whistles, but quite honestly, if it's not meeting the customer need, then it's just a shiny object that we're chasing.
I think from what I see, just where they're going. Listening to the customer, validating the voice of the customer, acting on that information.
Now you have the person who's in the truck talking to the customer directly about what they were doing and why. That's the kind of streamlined communications that customers are going to expect.
For those of us who've been doing it for 25 years, it's really not our game anymore. We need millennials, we need younger folks to learn what they can, but also take the reins and move the utilities forward.
The question is are utilities going to see the future enough to start implementing solutions in Snapchat and Instagram where there's an opportunity to market in a certain way or educate, which I don't think they're even close to being there yet.
So getting to a customer-centric utility will be a challenge. It's a transition. We need forward-thinking leadership. We need forward-thinking utilities, people willing to say yes.
In understanding the needs of their consumers and placing customer service and customer care at the forefront of their innovation, utilities will be able to demonstrate real value in the form of solutions and services that matter. The next mission will be based on building relationships and being responsive to the needs of consumers. Will you be ready?
We're good. Done.
Thank you.
perfect.